Okay, are we ready?
I believe so.
Contender ready.
Let's get ready to podcast.
Hello, geeks and geekettes, and welcome to another edition of the Geekstation podcast, where we talk movies, TV shows, games, and all things geeky. I am Sin, and as always, I am joined by my good friends David and Martin. Say hello, David and Martin.
Hello, David and Martin.
Woo!
Yeah, see, I swear. Wait, no, you've now done it like 3 weeks in a row. I swear.
No, I did it last week.
Did you?
Definitely.
Okay, I'll take your word.
That's
for
why
it.
we didn't even need to do the finger point this time.
Okay,
We sometimes just do the finger pointing just to mess with you.
just to mess.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I get that. So, welcome to the new improved Geekstation podcast.
And we sound delicious.
I think we do.
I'm not underwater anymore, apparently.
No, you're not. You actually sound like you're actually in the room with us.
He was
which
allowed
is-
out of his tank now.
It's a good thing because I can't actually swim, so
Oh, well, yeah. Particularly with a robotic arm, that probably might get
shorts
rusty.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got a brand new mixer courtesy of the wonderful David, and
I was about to say thank you then, but you're welcome.
yeah, well, there you go. And we can even hear ourselves properly
In real time.
in real time, which is a big step up for us.
No delay.
And we can actually realise how amazingly sexy our voices sound.
Well,
Yeah, we don't need this, but it helps.
I also feel like it's now like picking up every breath and every a bit of everything. But hey ho, it is what it is. We're professionals
thing.
now. Yeah. So how's everyone's week been?
yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
chill, yeah.
Usual.
Usual.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, let's. Did we all watch everything that we needed to watch?
I did.
Yes.
Yes,
I did.
Even I did. And you watched more episodes than
I
was
watched.
expecting
Yeah,
to
I
watch.
watched 6 to 7. I can't remember. 6 or 7 episodes of The Expanse.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is the mystery box week where we've each selected something for us to watch, and we'll all be talking about it later on and discussing and doing all things wonderful as we always do.
As always.
As always. But let's crack on with the news because there's quite a bit. This week was not a slow news week, which I was quite pleased with. So there's lots of stuff here. Liam Neeson. So when I first read this, I was like, "Oh my gosh, no!" But no, it's okay.
You didn't
He's
finish
not-
a sentence before you made judgment.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson has announced his retirement from action movies.
No more Taken films.
No, well, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to do those anyway. But he's not.
No
going
one
to
wants
be,
to make them.
He's not going to be running around fighting wolves anymore.
That's a shame.
There's
yeah.
no Qui-Gon return then.
I don't. Well, he might do,
Could
but
be.
that might not be. He might
In
not
an
class that
action
as an-
sequence. Yeah, no, he could do like a Ben Kenobi thing, I guess.
If they do an Obi-Wan Kenobi solo film, which
That will need to
reportedly they are going
happen.
to do, I think Qui-Gon Jinn does need to be in that film.
He'd have to be younger though, wouldn't he?
He would, yeah.
Yeah, but they could do the whole de-aging thing, couldn't they?
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be seeing Liam Neeson running around holding a gun shooting bad guys anymore.
That makes me sad.
Well,
I mean, it's not the end of the world.
No, definitely not. No, but he's done many films, many action films, some good, some bad, many bad. But no, I as I say, I was a bit worried when I saw the retirement, and then as you say, I read the rest of the sentence. So I was good. Next news: Star Wars. J.J. Abrams. This is awesome. This is the best thing to come out of Star Wars news in the last couple of weeks. J.J. Abrams. I think so.
Okay.
Because for me, J.J. Abrams is a god among men, and I would have his children.
Yeah.
Particularly when
Can confirm.
Yeah, I would do because when it comes to science fiction, J.J. Abrams knows his shit. He knows what he's talking about, and he's incredible. And I'm so happy that he's going to not only direct and write Star Wars 9, which I think is just really, really
Are they
good.
doing a full rewrite or?
Well, so apparently he's employed one of his writing buddies. So presumably, that like the news article I read said that means that they are doing a complete rewrite.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So, but
So does that mean, obviously, because Colin Trevorrow used to write with someone in particular, I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. Does that mean that he's not writing it at all anymore?
don't know. Not
One
sure.
would assume. I thought they'd already sort of, as you said last week, had a writing team almost to sort of come up with basic outlines of
Yeah,
this.
I think they have, and I think they already had that anyway. But
Yeah,
now-
yeah. What to tailor it to the way they want to direct the
Yeah,
film then. I
well,
guess.
exactly. But the downside to this is that the film's been pushed from May to December, which
is the time we thought it was going to come out
Yeah,
before we heard it
that's
was May anyway.
And it's
Yeah, everyone thought it was really strange it was coming out in May.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because they were. I think Disney were probably holding the December release for something else, but that's fine. I mean, it's Star Wars coming out at Christmas. That's fine by me.
Yeah, no.
So,
The only thing I thought, I mean, when I heard the new trilogy was coming out, I thought, well, it was obviously going to be 3 different directors, and I was quite excited for a shift in tone as it sort of went forward. But I'm worried that might, go from this 7 to 8 to shift in tone to then back to the initial tone. I don't know.
I think so, but I also think that Disney know where they want to go with the films, and this is why like Ron Howard's come into the Han Solo movie and the original directors were booted off, and why the director was booted off this one, because they have their own. They know where they want to go with them, and I don't think tone, because like J.J. Abrams will direct a Star Wars film, that's what he showed with The Force Awakens, and I think it's more about the story really rather than the direction.
Yeah, true.
So I'm as I say, I'm super excited. I'm a massive J.J. Abrams fan, and this is the best news to come out of it. So yeah, I'm really happy. This is a little funny thing that happened that I read. So obviously they're doing the press tour, or the warming up for the press tour for Blade Runner, 2049. Yeah. And there was a story that came out that while they were filming, Harrison Ford punched Ryan Gosling in the face accidentally during a scene. And the story goes that as an apology, Harrison Ford walked into his trailer after filming with a bottle of whiskey and said, "I'm really sorry, do whatever he said," poured him a glass of the whiskey, and then walked away with the rest of the bottle. And
I wouldn't expect anything less.
No, and the interviewer was like, "Well, you didn't give him the bottle of whiskey." He was like, "Well, I only punched him in the face." So
this is $300 whiskey.
I just think that's absolutely brilliant. And apparently the first thing that Harrison Ford asked for after he punched him in the face was some ice for his hand. Or no, they got some ice and they were bringing it onto the set to put on Ryan Gosling's face, and apparently Harrison Ford took it for his hand, because
he is older.
That's what's important, though. Isn't
but
it?
Ryan Gosling's face is important, also.
Yeah, it's a very important face.
That's the moneymaker.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, probably insured for many, many, many dollars. So yeah, I thought that was a nice little anecdote, and I'm sure they'll be telling that story many, many times, and you'll probably hear it many times in all the different what they call press
junkets.
Junkets. Yeah.
Heard it here first, though.
You heard it here first.
Maybe
it's an exclusive.
Yeah.
Sure, keep believing that.
That's what my buddy Gosling told me anyway.
They're also on Blade Runner. There was they released another short film this week. Have you guys seen the first?
I haven't seen any of them yet.
No.
I'm gonna watch them. But...
So the first one was good with Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And this one was with who's the guy? I can't remember his name now. David Barista.
Bautista.
Dave Bautista.
No, wait. What did you say?
Baptista.
No, the guy the big wrestler dude from
Batista.
Batista.
Yeah, the Starbucks barista.
No, oh my gosh. Yes, that's it. The Starbucks.
A large
barista.
vanilla latte, please.
He.
Do you want anything, Martin?
No, not for the time being.
Some cookies.
I'll be right back.
Right. Caramel macchiato.
Yeah, no.
Caramel macchiato.
He which is so far removed from an actual macchiato. It's incredible.
Is it? Well, what is a macchiato?
So
I don't know.
Macchiato should be an espresso with with literally a small teaspoon of foam.
Foam. Oh, okay, yeah.
Whereas a caramel macchiato from Starbucks is like this big, is milk all the way through and like caramel sauce drizzled all over it.
Not just like a shot of caramel.
No, it's ridiculous. But anyway, this
millennials.
This is a different podcast. This is where we talk about films, TVs, and movies, and games,
and coffee,
and all those sorts of things.
And Dave Bautista.
Yeah. So anyway, Dave Bautista's in it because apparently he has a role in the new film. I will now forever.
Does he play henchman number 2?
No. I think he plays a replicant on the run.
Oh, okay.
And in the short film talks about presumably him being caught out as a replicant because it ends with someone in a phone booth going, "I think I found the one you're looking for. I'll meet you there." And then I assume he's calling like Ryan Gosling maybe or another Blade Runner. I don't know, but yeah, no, it's really good. It really it was directed by Tony Scott, the son of Ridley Scott.
Oh, okay.
So it's really very reminiscent of the original film. It's only like 5 minutes.
Are these all on YouTube?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So definitely watch them. They're all introduced by the director as well of the new film, and he like talks about why he's did them, and so yeah, they're really good. I'm looking forward to the third one anyway. So moving on. So Barbara Broccoli, who is the producer of the Bond film, so the Broccoli family are the people that have always produced the Bond films. She is, and I'm quoting here, of course, considering a female James Bond for the 25th Bond film, which is the one after the one that's coming out next.
So all like staple British characters are just going to go female.
Well, you're quite possibly,
Female Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Well,
Charlotte Holmes.
I'm surprised that hasn't actually. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm surprised a lot of these things haven't been done yet.
Holmes.
That was terrible.
That's probably what it's going to be. Then.
What do you call
so
James
good.
Bond then? Jeanette Bond.
Well, it will. I don't know. Yeah, Jane Bond. Or
Jane Bond,
maybe,
I guess.
or maybe it would just be 007, or I mean,
yeah,
who knows?
and then surname Bond.
Cassandra Smith.
But I'm,
Smith.
like, I can get on board with a female Doctor Who, and I can get on board with a female Sherlock for sure. Yeah, why not? But James Bond, I mean, like, there's some characters that are male, and there are some characters that are female. Like, you wouldn't have a male Wonder Woman, would you? Wonder Man.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Is there not one?
what, a male
Wonder Man.
No, there isn't, because
I'm afraid to Google Wonder
What about
Man.
Catman?
No, because Wonder Woman is an Amazonian of a race of female warriors.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really.
That's not a man.
There's a Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. Well,
Wonder
yeah,
Man.
but he's not Wonder Woman in man form.
No, it's a Marvel.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So
What?
But he's got a big W on his chest, though.
Well, that's
Yeah,
just
look.
because they're.
Oh.
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that.
That's-
It doesn't look anything like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, no, she has purple, like, I don't know what that did then.
I
Is
don't-
this
Yeah,
a
this
riff
is the
on
Wonder
Wonder
this
Woman?
is what-
or
but it's not a male Wonder.
not a male
Nathan
Wonder Woman?
Fillion's playing him in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie. apparently.
Brilliant.
Oh, nice.
But that says Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Ah,
That doesn't make sense.
No.
When
Maybe
did that
it was
come
a
out?
rumor.
When's that article from?
I don't know, I'm gonna find out.
Is it,
You
is
guys-
is it fake news? Are you reading fake news?
Fake
now?
news.
No, it's
On the
Sad.
Geekstation podcast, I'm disappointed.
25th of April 2016.
Yeah.
That's like in 3 months.
Wait, no. Oh my gosh, I'm so
It's like a year and a half
confused.
ago.
What year are we in now?
2018.
Oh my gosh.
God.
No, you're lying.
I thought it was
You're not.
2049.
Yeah.
Wait,
Right,
what?
anyway, so yeah, there's potentially going to be a female James Bond.
Okay.
I don't know how you guys feel about that. But
I'm indifferent, if I'm honest.
Indifferent, really?
Yeah. It's just.
See, it's one of those things where
reboots.
I'd be fearful of being against it in case.
Yeah,
someone
like
comes
you don't
out
want to
and
be,
goes,
but like there's some intellectual property you say. I don't know. I don't think it translates when you swap genders.
Oh, what would Moneypenny's name be if it was a guy?
Oh god.
Money Penis.
Money-
Money Fanny.
Oh, dude.
Fantastic.
No,
Brilliant.
I'm concerned. If we have a female James Bond, is she going to be super suave and seduce a man,
Well, this is
or is
it.
she going to be a lesbian? or
I just don't think that they're going to be able to.
They
do
don't
it
really need to
because-
have that, though, really.
that is intrinsic to Bond, being suave. There's always Bond girls. That's Bond. There's no Bond without Bond girls, and him seducing a woman.
Exactly, and
It needs
wearing
to
a
be there.
sharp suit and
Yeah, but
and
that depends if you're going on the same, like, if we're talking about it being like a 007 is just a name that they give to specific agents to do a certain thing,
Yeah.
then they wouldn't need that part of it.
No, but I mean
Yeah,
that's
but
in
look-
fiction, but a Bond film, sort of.
No, I completely understand what you mean. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, depending on which way they go, they wouldn't have to need to use the suave, and everything like that. They could just do it as like a giant universe, like
Yeah.
what we spoke about a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
I suppose they could
Yeah,
do a 009.
and if they did that, then that would be fine.
A different character.
but not if you're doing a Bond film. It needs to be James Bond, and he needs to be an English actor.
Yeah, I think that fucks with the continuity that they're going for as well. If they go with a female,
I think
because
so.
then what the fuck? Everything else needs to change. Whatever.
Yeah. So we'll see. Only time will tell. Let's get the next Bond film out of the way first.
Yeah,
and then,
first things first.
Yeah, exactly. So we just watched it. The trailer was released this week for the film Downsizing.
It looks so good.
Yeah,
I can't wait for it.
Matt Damon, Christopher Waltz, Jason Sudeikis.
You know, they're actually doing 2 releases of the movie.
What?
They're doing one that's an hour and a half long and one that's like 3.5 minutes.
Really?
No.
See,
What-
I just
what do you
don't
mean?
know when you're
Well,
saying,
because, you know,
'cause of
downsizing.
Yeah.
Downsize. Oh god,
Yeah, there we go.
I fucking hate you.
So
Did you say?
wow, that's hate's a strong word, man.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
Come on,
Well-
it's just a joke.
I'm just trying to let you know where
Oh,
you
okay.
stand.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the
Sherlock
Kids,
Holmes.
but Honey, I Shrunk the Community. Oh Jesus! It's going to be pitchforks. It's going to be
let's
like
get
pistols
our
at
adult
dawn.
heads on now.
Yeah.
The downsizing that's really good though.
Does
I
look
can't
really
wait for
good.
it.
Yeah.
No,
And like we were
Christmas
saying
release,
earlier, is that I think Matt Damon's a really good comedic actor. Like
Yeah.
he's really good in action
Yeah.
when it's done right, but he's got really good comedic timing.
The sensibilities are there. You can really tell. So.
And I'll be
Look
interested because the
forward to
trailer it sets up the premise really well, but doesn't really dive into what the story's going to be.
Yeah.
And I almost don't want to watch the second and the third trailer when they're released because I don't really want to see any more of the film that I've already seen.
Because there's some parts in the trailer. Obviously, MPH is in it for about 3.2 frames.
Seconds.
I think.
Yeah.
And it's also got a scene where he's about to sign something
Yeah,
as well,
that's
and
right,
he's got like a scared look on his face.
And it says like the defendant or something in it, so something.
So he could be being sued for something, or
so I think it's going to be interesting, and I don't think I want to find out more of the story.
I want to go in blind.
I think they've set up well though.
Because then I won't be able to see it. But
you go in blind, but you can take the blind. Take the what are they called?
The opaque lenses. The Jared Leto lenses.
I'll just let you have a go with the cold spoon for a while.
Yeah. I'll put your eyes back in with a cold spoon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
sure.
It's easy.
Apparently so. So yeah, it looks good. And
looks really good.
I'm sure we'll probably cover it when it comes out. Number 6 on my news item simply says PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
So as we also happen to have a YouTube channel ourselves, check us out, Geekstation UK on YouTube. There's some cool videos on there.
Great stuff.
Well, I thought we better talk about the controversy that has surrounded Mr. PewDiePie, the largest YouTuber.
We spoke about it briefly.
We've spoken, we've spoken a couple of times. But so basically, he said something. He said a naughty word, a word that people shouldn't really be saying, but does get thrown around on the internet quite a bit.
Yeah.
While live streaming, and it's kind of blown up a little bit in his face. But as always, he did the traditional apology video a couple of days later.
Where he sits in a clean room with a nice wide angle, and he says, "I'm really sorry.
I'm really sorry.
I didn't think about what I did.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry."
Yeah. And it hasn't really affected him in any way, shape or form.
It's the second time, isn't it?
He was averaging anywhere between 5,000 and 7,000 new subscribers a day. On the Monday after it happened, instead of getting 5,000 or 7,000, he only got 1,500.
Yeah. So he's still gaining, and probably now, if you look at it now, he's probably back up to whatever it is.
I'm pretty sure the following day it was back up to like 7,000.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's happened really is that he's one of his videos got taken down by a developer. They did a DMC notice, but it's already had 5.7 million views, so he's already earned the money from it.
Yeah, it literally means nothing to him.
Literally nothing.
Other than he gets a strike, but...
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got 57 million subscribers, growing 7,000 subscribers a day, there's no way YouTube is going to be like, it's going to hold him to the same rules of 3 strikes and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just like... So, I mean, for obviously for a small YouTuber like myself, like ourselves, this type of thing really annoys me because, you know, if we did something like that, I mean, obviously no one would really pay attention, but that would kill our channel straight up. You know, like if a controversy surrounded a small channel like that, that would be it. They'd be gone. But PewDiePie
on that scale,
he is gaming on YouTube for. I can't stand him personally, but he can just get away with it, and it happened a few months ago as well. You know,
with the Nazi or Jew, whatever.
And the anti-Semitic comments. He did a Kickstarter to get 2 people to hold a sign.
It wasn't a Kickstarter. It was an app called Fiverr, where basically you would pay someone Fiverr to do something that they would have, and like their thing that these 2 people. I can't remember where they were from.
I'm on Fiverr for all your voiceover needs. But yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Fiverr.
Yeah, so he paid like 2 people with Fiverr to hold up a sign, like to write something down on the sign and hold it up and dance around. But their defense was that they don't read English. They didn't know what it said. They didn't know what it meant. You know what it says, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone. I'm not going to say it because it's a disgusting thing to say. And yeah, their defense was we didn't know what it meant. We didn't know the significance behind it. And his defense was, I really didn't think anyone would do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's because he always tries to say that he's an amateur comedian and stuff, and he's always trying to push boundaries like normal comedians are, but there's pushing boundaries, and then there's also just being flat out racist.
That's just stupid. Internet edginess, though, isn't it?
Personally, I don't think he's a racist. I just think he's an idiot.
A
lot of the time.
Sure,
but
sure.
in some of his responses to things, especially when the Wall Street Journal came after him, his responses were really good.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. You can't have 57 million subscribers.
But this is
not
it.
being a smart guy.
Yeah, and he's so big. When this is what we were talking about, he's so big. He's not going to be taken down.
Yeah, I also think that he's fed up of being the face of YouTube to an extent as well.
And maybe he's just acting up a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't think he wants to be this like PC. He doesn't want so many like maybe childish subscribers. He wants to be an entertainer for older people. I think he's fed up of just screaming down a mic at scary games. He was fed up with that a long time ago, but this isn't a way to progress yourself as a comedian.
No, it's not.
All.
But,
or even just as a human.
Just as a human, yeah.
He's just taken like
the thing
70
is,
years back.
This instance was like, I don't know, he kind of reflexively said it, didn't he? Like when something went wrong and he went...
Because he also said that that's not the sort of thing he would normally say. It's not the sort of thing he would normally do. But as I was saying to Yusin the other day, is that you wouldn't be in that situation and have that at the forefront of your vocabulary for a response if it's not something you say.
If you never say that word, then that wouldn't come out of your mouth.
Exactly.
I mean, try fuck.
It would never cross my mind to say that.
No, exactly.
And you've edited me being really angry at games, and you know that that's not the sort of thing I say.
Exactly, yeah.
I just get angry with myself.
Yeah.
Mainly because I
also
suck at video games.
Cocksuckers that are killing you as well.
Oh yeah, there's lots of cocksuckers in the last one.
A lot of bold blokes.
Yeah.
Bold blokes.
They're all bold.
And by the time you're listening to this video, that video that David is referring to is actually live on the YouTube.
Is it all edited?
It is all edited. I'll share it to you later.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that.
So as I say, PewDiePie. But anyway,
PewDiePie saw it out.
Yeah, let's move on. Excuse me.
Can cut that out.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, if I remember where it is, 24 minutes. Sure,
that's fine. I'll just call back to it later.
Thanks.
Yes.
Some stills have been released for The Punisher. I don't know if you guys have seen these or not.
I haven't seen them, and I almost don't want to see them because I want to.
I'm
really looking forward to this series.
They don't really show much. I'm just flicking through them here for Martin's entertainment. It does show that one character from Daredevil is in it.
Is it Daredevil?
It's not Daredevil. I mean, he might be in it, but I don't know.
Is it the nurse?
No.
I'm trying to guess what's on your glasses at the moment.
Oh, right.
It's really difficult. I'll just keep moving.
I'm staring right at the character now.
Oh, okay, all I can see is your beautiful, beautiful eyes.
A blonde lady.
Thanks, man. Oh. So there's some stills. I mean, they don't really reveal much. Just more that they're going to be showing like more of his history and things like that. And I know you're really. I'm not looking forward to it as much as the other ones, but purely because the Punisher isn't my.
See, I read
really.
a lot of Punisher comic books.
Sure,
and there was a lot of crossovers between him and Daredevil as well, which were really good.
Yeah.
There was a one in the New 52 as well that went on. It was like him.
Not New 52. That's DC.
Yeah. Sorry. What am I talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, but anyway, there were. What was? I'm pretty sure it was rebooted. And
sure.
It was around the same time
likely,
as the New 52, and I wasn't really paying attention. And I think I'm drunk. There was one with him, Spider-Man, and Daredevil as well, which was a really good little I think it was like a 3-run.
Sure.
Three things run. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, as I say, for me, the Punishers, he doesn't appeal to me. I mean, I will watch it because it's a Marvel Netflix thing, so I'd be remiss, and I know it's going to be good. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. You may even watch it, Martin.
Maybe.
Well, you're going to have to because we're going to do an episode on it.
Yeah, we're doing an episode on the Punisher.
Yeah.
I've already decided. Because
the
thing is, you don't even have to binge it all in a day because it comes out on a Tuesday.
Oh, hopefully, yeah.
No, it does. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah.
Gosh. Okay. And I'm sure, how many episodes is it? 8 or 9?
There'll be 13.
The regular Netflix.
13?
Yeah. It is 13. I know it is.
Oh, okay.
I've read that it's 13.
Okay.
It's been confirmed. That's not an exclusive.
That's an exclusive.
No,
that's
not.
Did
you hear that, everyone? That's an exclusive.
A world exclusive.
If we rewind it, you'll hear. Anyway, moving on. So we watched the trailer just before. The trailer this week was released for The Disaster Artist, which is James and Dave Franco, Seth Rogen, and all about the making of The Room, which is a film that I have never seen, but is infamous in its.
It's good.
It's very good.
It's greatness.
It's terribly good, or goodly terrible.
So bad it's good.
So
basically.
There's so many small things about it as well. That
it's just mainly the acting is just the pinnacle of what is bad about that film,
right?
And particularly the performance of Tommy Wiseau.
I think also the dialogue is some of the worst dialogue.
So he wrote and directed and acted and starred in this film. You can really tell, even when he's not on screen, that his sensibilities carry over into other characters because he's written the fucking thing. Yeah. Some of the lines are just so fucking stupid. It's just ridiculous.
It's really bad.
It's.
I really should watch it. Well, I'll definitely watch it before The Disaster Artist came out. But The Disaster Artist looked like a good film.
It looks like he's I actually watched an interview yesterday. It was with James Franco, Dave Franco, Tommy Wiseau, and Greg Sestero, the guy that Dave Franco is playing. So Greg actually wrote the book called The Disaster Artist, about the making of The Room. So I think what they've done is they've just essentially collated all the information around the making of that film, and just gotten his blessing to say, look, we're going to make a film about your film. And he's gone, yeah, sure. Because by this point, it's a huge joke, and he's kind of making money off this huge joke. So he's happy to...
Yeah, right. Wow.
To say, yeah.
So, I mean, the trailer looked really good. Like, it looked like a good film.
People were saying something about an Oscar for James Franco for that, but I'm not sure that's... So
who's playing? That was James Franco.
James Franco is playing Tommy Wiseau.
Is it so? Dave Franco's brother?
Yeah.
They look identical. Are they twins?
They
look very similar.
I think it's like 5 or 6 years in between them.
He looked. I would have had it the other way around.
You've seen Dave Franco in a bunch of stuff. I'm sure you would have seen.
Maybe I have, thinking it was James Franco.
Dude, he was in the reboot of Scrubs. Do you remember when they did that?
Yeah,
series
not the reboot, but it was like series 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
He was in that. He was also in Bad Neighbours.
He's also in...
I watched Bad Neighbours.
Yeah, he was in that.
I thought that was James Franco.
Yeah, that's not James Franco.
Dave, he's a lot younger.
Right.
Well, he looks a lot younger.
He's also arguably my favourite Franco.
James Franco is my favourite Franco.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know, I just kind of like Dave. Mainly because he's not the
He wasn't in Freaks and Geeks though, was he?
No, he wasn't. That's a good point.
That's
but your name's Martin.
Okay.
See what I did there?
That was clever because when you do it later,
yeah,
it's not going to be intentional.
That's right. Yeah, because I've already planted the seed. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you've just made it worse for yourself.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, moving on. So apparently they're going to write and film multiple endings for the final season of Game of Thrones, which makes perfect sense because they can't keep it in their pants. In more ways than one. But they're obviously They obviously know that people are going to just be trying to get anything they can.
They did that with a lot of things though. Like they did it in Lost.
Yeah.
You know, the end of the end of the season where they turn around and they're like, well, I think it was Jack was on the bridge or something. Turned around and was like, oh no, it was who was in the coffin. That was it. Yeah, they filmed like 5 or 6 different people in the coffin because they didn't want to release who it was.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think they did it for EastEnders once as well, when someone shot someone.
I think
it wasn't Lucy Mitchell or Lucy Beale.
I don't know who anyone is in EastEnders, but I just remember seeing it all over.
That was a storyline, wasn't it? That Lucy Beale killed someone, didn't it?
Yeah. There was a big deal that who killed Lucy Beale.
Who killed Lucy Beale or Lucy Beale?
I'm just going to talk to the audience now while you guys do that.
I don't really remember. It was a big deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
But Ian Beale was the best character.
Did you realise that you're talking to yourself?
No, I'm talking to the audience.
Well,
they're responding to
they're not, are they?
Yeah.
They're big EastEnders fans, Dave.
They're not big EastEnders fans. That's not it. I didn't even know what happened.
The big EastEnders man is Phil Mitchell, right?
Oh, dear.
So yeah, they're filming multiple endings, which makes perfect sense. And I also hope that if they do film multiple endings, that
they release all of them as well.
They'll be eventually released.
I think it should be like a choose your adventure. Like
that would be cool.
You go like, oh, what do you want to do here, and then you pick your own ending, and you can't watch any of the others.
Oh, I like it.
That'd be cool.
So MTV are working on a Scream reboot because
MT who?
The music television.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound like what they do anymore.
Well, they make films now,
do they?
And for young adult films, and they're rebooting Scream. Why they need to reboot Scream, I don't know, but they are doing it.
There's already a Scream TV program as well.
There is, yeah. I never actually watched that.
I've never seen it. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
is
God.
it?
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's got Emma Roberts in it, I think, or is she in something else?
If it is, I might just. I don't know if it's.
I know she's in something.
I hope not.
But so I don't know that the original trilogy was good. I quite enjoyed it. It was a nice kind of take on the horror, but it was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Even maybe longer than that.
It was around 2000.
1996, mate.
Yeah,
Holy
there you
shit.
go. Wow.
21 years ago.
21 years. Holy moly. So they're rebooting it, because we can't come up with any original stuff now, so let's just reboot old franchises.
Let's just keep going.
Okay, Emma Roberts was in another TV program called Scream Queens.
Oh, right.
That's why I got it confused.
Scream Queens.
Scream Queens.
Probably very different to the Scream.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather watch that.
Yeah?
Just because it's not that.
And because it's got Emma Roberts in it?
Maybe
Who's Emma Roberts?
Is it Eric Roberts' daughter? Eric Roberts is Julia Roberts' brother.
Right. Okay.
Eric Roberts.
There we go.
Eric Roberts is in everything. He's in the Dark Knight as well.
Okay.
Yeah, right. He plays. Is it Dark Knight or the first one? He basically plays like the main mob guy. One of the.
Okay.
The one that
all
was,
right.
Yeah, he plays one of those guys.
Okay.
He's in. I think he's got like over 150 credits in IMDb or something stupid like that. Yeah, he's in a lot of things, but like small parts.
Sure.
But no one knows who he is.
No one's seen his face. No.
Oh, fair.
So,
you're the real MVP.
True Lies. Do you remember the film True Lies with Schwarzenegger? Where he I can't remember her name now. God damn it! It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember. Anyway, where he plays, been in?
I can't remember.
He plays like a super spy basically. Have you you've probably seen this? There's a James Cameron film. It's quite a famous scene.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Thank you. Quite a famous scene where he's in like a Harrier jump jet and he just appears to shoot all the bad guys.
Yeah,
it's very, very good. Anyway, they're turning it into a TV show. Which
is Arnold going to be in it?
I don't know. It's in very early talks for a pilot, but it's moving forward.
She was in a piece of news as well, actually.
She's going to be
in the new Jason or Halloween, Halloween 2018,
yeah. Which apparently is going to be going back.
Didn't she die? Oh, she was also in Scream Queens.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is now Scream Queens.
The Scream Queens podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I'm quite excited about True Lies becoming a TV show because it's actually a really good film. It's kind of like one of those.
The last time I watched that movie. Actually.
No, neither can I. And off the back of this, I think I might have to watch it again because it is a good film.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So we watched the trailer for this, which is the new Del Toro film, The Shape of Water. Mm-hmm. Which is about some maybe an alien or some sort of
aquatic
monster
creature thing.
Aquaman.
That's what I was thinking.
It's a prequel for Aquaman.
Aquaman versus Shape of Water guy.
It's not, but anyway.
Shape of Water guy.
Shape of Water guy.
I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be the Shape of Water, so it wouldn't be Aquaman versus.
Yeah. But anyway, the bit of news that I wanted to share was that the fish monster will be having sex with a human in this.
Oh, it'll be that lady.
It is, and apparently they've filmed like proper full frontal nudity for it, and it's going to be like it's Del Toro being Del Toro.
It makes me uncomfortable.
But it's going to be interesting because do you know how fish have sex? It's not very pleasant.
Do you know the actor doesn't look too different to
what's the fish person in real life?
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah, it looks almost identical.
He was in. His name is Doug Jones. He was in Hellboy and Hellboy 1. He played Abe Sapien.
Yeah. See, I was thinking that the character looks.
Yeah.
He could even be a prequel type of thing because he looks.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's a Del Toro.
He's got 163 credits.
Wow.
But I imagine a lot of that could be like voice acting or stuff,
or just Scrub number one.
Aquaman.
Scrub number one.
But so what do we think to a sea alien creature having sex?
I don't normally care for Del Toro movies too much, like Pan's Labyrinth. That's not really my jam.
Okay.
But that looks good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But specifically, what do you think to Fishman having sex with Deaf Woman?
I'm all for it.
Sure. Brilliant. We're 2017.
Hey, look, exactly.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge?
10, 15 years ago, it was a man sleeping with a fish woman. Now it's a fish man sleeping with a woman.
That's right. Yeah, there we go.
This is called progress.
It's full circle, yeah. So the director of Nightwing, Chris McKay, says that Warner Brothers... I know, I'm going to come to that one last. Warner Brothers...
You can just skim over the fact that there's actually a Nightwing movie that's being...
I'm sure we've covered this already.
Oh, you talk. I'm gonna try and learn how to spell Nightwing.
So there's a Nightwing movie being made. The director that's slated to direct it, Chris McKay, says that Warner Brothers DC are a director-driven studio, and that their films will be based on the director's vision and not an overarching vision like Marvel. So basically,
it sounds like shade to me.
Well, it's a way of them saying, well, the Dark Knight, the Snyder films are different in tone to Suicide Squad, which is different in tone to Wonder Woman, because then allowing the directors to just do their thing.
Yeah, and I mean, your films are shit though.
Yeah, well, this is.
The proof is in the pudding. Right?
It sounds like they're kind of making excuses for.
Yeah. They're trying to go, hey, at least we're not bowing to the overlord of Disney. We're doing our own thing. Yeah. We're making shit films because of it.
I would much rather have an overarching story where they all feel that similar, if not
some
the same.
Cohesive vision.
Exactly.
I mean, there is room for directors to come in and do their thing to a degree, but not quite. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast of having a cinematic universe.
Well, exactly. If you want to do it, do it. Don't, half-ass it.
Yeah.
So anyway, and the last bit of news that I have is sadly that Harry Dean Stanton has passed away, age 91. Most famous for the role he played in Alien. Also made a cameo in Avengers. He was in loads of other films. Escape from New York he was in. Great character actor. Did a lot of film and TV and stuff.
If you don't know his name, you'll know his face from movies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, for sure. And if I could show you his face right now, I would. But unfortunately, this is a podcast.
You're going to edit it into the YouTube release,
the video.
Right? Maybe if I have time.
I like how you're just giving him work to do.
I'm going on holiday tomorrow, Yeah, I've got a lot of work to do in the next 24 hours.
It'll be fine.
I'm going to Prague.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, this is
my
the whole discussion we had.
5-year anniversary with
that sounds
my other half.
Brilliant.
I can't wait. So I've just got
plastered.
I've just possibly on cheap beer, maybe.
Oh God!
But I've also got a lot of videos to edit and upload in the next 24 hours. So stop giving me work, young man. I've already edited your video, and it took me 3 hours.
Welcome.
It would help. It would be a lot easier if you just didn't die as much, basically.
Yeah, but then
fucking Dave, if you could get good.
If you could be better,
get good.
If you could be better at games, then it would be fine.
All right, I get it, man.
Yeah, good. Right.
Sensitive.
Have I put you down enough?
I don't know. Might as well put me on my misery.
Okay, out the back. Let's go.
Oh shit.
Anyway,
I don't even know what that means.
So, neither do I. So anyway, that's the news. Does anyone else have anything they would like to add from this week?
I don't think so. I think because I added a couple of things onto that.
You did?
Yeah,
you did.
So I don't think there's anything else.
That was a Nintendo Direct, as in Nintendo giving a bunch of information about their games. Not really much in there apart from more news about Mario Odyssey. I don't know if you guys seen that game. Mario throws a hat.
Yeah, when he's got a hat. Yes. Yeah.
Didn't Mario show his nipples as well?
Yeah, that was the big thing. There's an outfit with him in just swim trunks, and obviously the internet
nipples.
Just goes
I need to
wild.
know. Does he have a hairy chest?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
I think he just needs like a little patch in the middle. That'd be tasteful. But apparently, no. He's too much.
Just in the shape of Toad.
Well, I tell you what. Something else that isn't. Well, I didn't put on the news actually. That I suppose is kind of geeky worthy. That's obviously the iPhone X.
Oh my god.
Which is the low price of $999/pounds.
There's a guy
affordable price
in
tag.
Amsterdam, I think, that worked out it'll cost him less money if he flies to New York to buy it and then flies back than it would for him to buy it.
Really? What? Because of the exchange rate?
Yeah, basically. Because I think it works out to like just shy of $1,200, €1,200.
Because this is what Apple do. Is they go it's $999 and then it's just the same price in every currency.
That sounds like stupid.
Yeah, well, I think it works out to about €1,200 or something like that. And he found flights that he could go from Amsterdam to New York and then stay 2 nights in an Airbnb and then buy one and then fly back. And it costs him
He's got time to.
He saves like €2, but technically it's taking into account like food and stuff.
It's more expensive than my PC. It's more expensive than most people's
And it's not even going to be worth
and
that.
it's also like 4-year-old technology as well.
Well, but it is. But it's the first time we've seen this technology in phones. So
people don't realise that we don't have iPhones.
Yeah, but people don't buy phones.
I have an iPhone. So
do you?
Yes.
Right. Why are we friends?
What do you mean?
No, I'm
iPhones are good.
No, I'm gonna say I've got no issues with.
I really want the phone. I really want it. I do because it's cool. It looks amazing. It's a smart bit of technology, and I really want it. Unfortunately, I can't afford it, and I will never own it.
I got no issues with like iPhones and iPhone users. I just don't like Apple and iPhones.
Yeah,
that
sure.
Makes sense. Like
you and lots of other people.
And it's just on how they like talk about it and this, that, and the other. But all it is just it's not new technology, really.
No, but it's not. But it is the first time that we've seen this technology in phones.
Not all of it. Like a lot of the stuff was in the Samsung S6.
Yeah.
Like all of the inside stuff. It's just these gimmicky things.
Absolutely.
I mean, what specifically is it that hasn't been seen in phones before?
The facial recognition technology, which is literally you can.
All it does is it updates your face every time you look at your phone. So if you say you're growing a beard, you don't have to keep doing it. Yeah. Every couple of weeks, it does it automatically.
Unlocks your phone with a glance. It's wireless charging as well. That's the big thing.
That already exists.
Yeah, but not in phones. This is
loads of phones.
There's chargers that do it. I mean, specifically not built into the phone necessarily.
That's what I mean. This is the first time that this technology has been seen in phones.
But you can charge a phone wirelessly. that isn't an iPhone X.
Can you?
Yeah.
I'm going to Google it.
You can do it with iPhones now.
No, you can't.
There are chargers
you just
that
buy
are...
it.
But you've got to buy a little attachment that plugs into the bottom and all of that. This is I put this phone down and it starts charging.
Yeah, all you got to do is cut a hole in the back of it, stick it in where the headphone jack's supposed to be, and then you got loads of room. It's fine.
Anyway, it's got a lot of technology in it. It looks good and it's very good. But it's also £999.
Yeah,
it's too expensive.
So, anyway.
It's a month's rent and bills.
Yeah, and the rest. Yeah. Wait, no, hang on. How much do I pay? Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, not saying your half.
No. I know. Yeah, no, it is a month. Yeah,
it's just a month's wages, basically.
It's crazy.
It's more than a month's wages for a lot of places.
Oh,
yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so that was the news. Ba-boom.
Ba-da-bum-bum.
Okay.
That was the news.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we isolate that?
I'm going to try. Yeah. Right. Let's move on to our main feature, which is our which we're calling Mystery Box.
The Mystery Box.
But it isn't really
another
a mystery
because we all know what we watched.
That's right. Yeah.
So does everyone else.
So last week, I asked David to watch some episodes.
Nope.
No, I asked
Martin.
I don't know what is wrong with me.
You already did it.
You did it to yourself earlier. That's what it was.
Have you seen the latest episode of Stone
No,
Half?
I started watching it. I haven't watched it yet, though.
I honestly,
Why don't you rename the characters David/Martin and then any can apply?
No, well, that's yeah.
You can't rename him, which he's found out because he's got someone without a name and he doesn't know how to name him.
Oh, the blank name.
That's right, blank name.
The unnamed carpenter.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I asked Martin to watch some episodes of The Expanse, which is a sci-fi Netflix science fiction show. Martin asked David to watch Fences, which was directed and starring Denzel Washington from 2016. Oscar-nominated, Oscar-winning, not for Denzel, but we'll come to that.
There was no Woody performances, I'll tell you that.
Oh boy!
Oh, wow, there you go.
Zing!
Yeah.
Cool.
And David asked me to watch Brick, which was a 2005. I want to say indie film. It was
Did it cement its place in your mind forever?
Possibly. Starring
that
Joseph
was another
Gordon-Levitt.
pun because brick.
Because it's brick. It's cement. Yeah.
Oh god, that wasn't so much of a zing. But
anyway, so out of the three of us, who would like to go first?
Don't know. Who wants to go first? Who has the strongest feelings on the mystery box?
I'll tell you what, David, talk to us about Fences.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to Martin right now?
I'm talking to you.
Who said
I'm
Fences?
looking
That's
at
the
you,
indicator.
and I'm making eye contact, I said Fences.
You just called me Martin, though.
No, I didn't. I called you David. Don't mess with my mind, all right? I'm fragile.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So anyway, let me kick you off. So
yeah, you
Fences,
kickstart it.
Directed and starring Denzel Washington from 2016. It got 4 Oscar nominations for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Picture, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Viola Davis won the Oscar. If you don't know who Viola Davis is, she played the big
Someone
boss
from,
lady in Suicide Squad, and is also Oscar-winning and seen on the TV show How to Get Away with Murder. And she is an incredible actress.
She's brilliant.
I mean, I haven't seen. I have to say, I must confess, I didn't get around to watching Fences, but I know I've seen bits of her in there, and she looks incredible, and she is an incredible actress. So I think the Oscar was well deserved. But yeah. So David, did you like it? Was it a good recommendation?
It was a very good recommendation.
Thank you.
It was a very, very good recommendation. It is a very dialogue-heavy movie.
Yeah, that's one. I mean, it's very
a Denzel film, isn't it?
Very dialogue-heavy. Like there's just
it's an adapted screenplay because it was a play.
Yeah. No, it used to be a play, and which is why it's so dialogue-heavy because
So it's a period drama, isn't it?
Yeah, it's set in 55 and 56.
God, are we calling period dramas based in
50s.
55, 56?
Yeah, that's a period drama.
Blimey.
Well, I mean, everything's a period, really, isn't it?
Well, technically, yeah, I know. But when you say period, I think back to
like Victorian
1800s or something like that. We're talking 50s here. I would say it's just a movie set in the 50s. But hey, who am I to argue with the lingo?
Yeah, you don't work in the industry, are you?
No, I don't. Yeah,
That's why I'm wearing a gold suit.
Yeah.
No, it was a really good movie, really well made. The acting, everyone was incredible.
Yeah, that's one of the things I would say.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that straight out that anyone, if you have a chance to watch it and you've got 2.5 hours spare, because it's like 2 hours 10 minutes long,
Okay,
and you're going to want a break to go to the toilet probably because it's very dialogue heavy. You can't do anything other than watch the movie.
Oh, dude, I saw it in the cinema and I needed to be like halfway through it and just missed like 10 minutes, but I think I picked it right because it was towards the end-ish.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, it's really good. It's really well made.
Basically,
the premise of it is that Denzel Washington is he's a garbage collector in New York, in Boston.
It's like Chicago or something.
Somewhere anyway in America, and he basically grew up and he was really good at baseball. Never got a chance, and you find out later in the movie things that happened which caused him to not have a chance to make it big. And he feels like he's always, for rightly thinking, that he's always pushed down by the white man, and he's got a big problem with things like that. And
does it like flash back to his past and stuff like that?
No, basically he tells you the story of what happened.
Okay.
And I don't want to. The trouble is, because I know you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into too much spoilers because
it's fine. You go ahead. I mean, if you want to.
Yeah, but it's quite a fairly big part in the movie, really, isn't it? Because it's not something you're expecting.
No,
at all. It's fine. The spoiler warning for offences, but please go ahead.
So anyway, so obviously the story is that obviously he used to play baseball. He never made it big, and he's got a lot of things against the basically the white man.
The white man,
yeah,
sure.
He's got a wife, Viola Davis, and he's got a son as well. He also has another son that comes in occasionally.
He's a musician.
Yeah, he's a musician. But there always seems to be something off with Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not his normal self. He's not the normal Denzel you know from movies. And you find out later in the movie why he's like this. And essentially, he trying to think of the right things to say without not. I really don't want to spoil anything.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so anyway,
basically, it's a 2.5 hour movie, which I don't have time to watch.
He had a really bad relationship with his dad, and him and his dad basically got in a violent altercation.
Right.
And he was like knocked unconscious, and then he left home at 14, went to the city, and he realized when he got there that he couldn't really do anything, so he started robbing people.
Right.
And he pulled a knife out on someone. That other person pulled out a gun.
Right.
The guy shot him. He dived at him with a knife and supposedly killed the other guy, and he went to prison for 15 years.
Right.
No one knew that about him when he was telling this story, apart from his mate. I can't remember his mate's name. Because he met him in prison.
Yeah, the garbage collector guy.
Yeah. So thing is, like, this movie's just made up of so many
many
small stories.
Yeah,
and
I mean, there's like his brother as well, who's has some like mental disability.
Yeah, his brother who went to the war and got shot in the skull and had a metal plate put in his skull. But
right.
So he's essentially
he's like very infantile. He carries around a trumpet and signals like
he's like talking about like hellhounds and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's kind of harrowing, that character.
Yeah, it's just everything about the movies is really good, and it's really difficult to like pinpoint certain parts of it.
Yeah, there's so many different moving parts to it, so many different interwoven stories. I think the main focus is upon Denzel's relationship with his son. His son wants to be a football player, and more that dynamic there, and how that's affected by Denzel and his relationship with his wife. But then that's where the other parts come in.
And then something else happens later down the line that. It's touched on at the beginning. Basically, Denzel and his friend are having a conversation, and his friend's like talking to Denzel. He's like, you're getting kind of close to that girl you've been speaking to at the bar. And he's like, it's just joking around, just having a drink. I bought her a drink. Buy everyone a drink. And he's like, well, you do that for friends, but when you buy 2 or 3 or more, then it means a bit more than that. And later down the line, further down the story, they have another conversation about it again. And then Denzel kind of changes at that point.
Mm.
And there is like a long pause between when he finishes a conversation with his friend to when he goes back into the house. And you find out at the same time as he tells his wife what's actually been happening. And he's actually been cheating on his wife. And he's about to have a daughter, or about to have a kid.
All right.
And you really didn't expect it.
Sure.
This is like the turning point in the movie where Denzel goes from being... He almost seemed, to an extent, happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
But he just, you
the
can get
start
why
of
he's
the film
like
when
downtrodden.
He's like comes in and he's like drinking a bottle of whiskey and he's loving his wife and all this stuff, and then to the character drastically changes. But
and then you find out that he's got a lot of troubles, in himself, because obviously he had a bad relationship with his dad. He's never had relationships with his kids because he's never really wanted to. He's never had that relationship to understand with his dad. Sorry, it's my arm that keeps clicking.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the bionic arm.
Yeah. And you can kind of see the relationships have broken down with all of his family members over the course of like his mistress having a kid,
And he builds up. The main metaphor of the movie is that he builds a fence. He's always trying to build a fence around his yard to sort of protect his property. But I think the sort of metaphor is that he's trying to keep everyone else out, but what's inside is rotting because he's
not letting everything go as well.
Yeah.
Like he has a lot of chips on his shoulders, but some of it you can kind of understand.
Yeah.
Being in that era, being a black person, you can definitely understand that there would be a lot of chips on your shoulders. That's the only way I can really kind of describe it. It's every single part of the movie I couldn't find a fault with.
It's a watertight. I think it's carried mostly by the performances of the actors. Denzel is he's fucking Denzel.
Has he ever directed anything else as well? Like I can't think of anything else he's directed before.
I'm sure he has.
But if that's his first if that's his directorial debut, and
that would be phenomenal.
The fact that he has to star in it as well, and it's so dialogue heavy.
I think he really, his direction probably rubbed off on it because it all stems from him ultimately. So for him to affect the other characters, he probably just gives a lot of direction around how his character affects their character. I'm sure they're all competent actors themselves. But
so he's directed a couple of films. I certainly haven't heard of them. So there's one 2002, Antoine Fisher.
Oh, Antoine Fisher,
He directed. That's a good movie. The Great Debaters. He also
I haven't seen that one.
No, but all the other ones that he's famous for, he's been in. They've all been directed by other people.
Man on Fire.
So
Man on Fire is a good movie. So is John Q as well. You need to watch John Q.
I do need to watch John Q. Flight as well as a film. It's just incredible. Absolutely amazing.
I'm going to roll it.
But every single part of this movie, I couldn't fault it in any way.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that it is quite long and it feels long. That's the only thing. But it's intense. Only because it's just a story movie.
But it's not a movie. Play, so
it's not a movie about anything other than it needs to tell this story. Yeah. This is the pace it needs to go at. This is what you need to hear.
Yeah.
And if you listen to it, when you're watching, it's like if you actually listen to what's going on, every single word that's spoken, it's like step above.
Yeah, it's
a lot of movies I've seen.
It can be hard to follow as well because the dialect obviously is the very thick, like 50s black American. They've got a lot of slang and stuff like that. That's kind of hard to follow. But when you're sort of like half an hour into the film, you pretty much pin everything.
Yeah. It's like because at the beginning it starts that they're all really happy-go-lucky, always friendly, this and the other, and then when his son comes in. The musician's son, and he's like, "Oh, I know why you're here. Like,
you need $50," and he's like, "I want no money, Daddy."
Yeah. He's like, "I just want to borrow $10," and then there's like it's just a tonal change in that scene, and you can see it in everyone's face. Like everyone in that scene just knows that you probably shouldn't be crossing him.
Sure.
Not because he's a violent person, not because he's likely to do anything stupid. It's just because. You almost feel the sense that you don't want to cross him and you don't want to anger him. And the fact that his son, he knows he's going to come in and ask for money. And then as soon as he gives him his money, the son leaves just instantly. And everyone else kind of like just goes, okay, we're just going to carry on with our day now. And then like his friend leaves and his wife goes on to do something.
It's like noticeably awkward.
Yeah. And then that happens again later down the time as well. Like it's just, It's really difficult to describe the movie, other than the fact that it's just really well made.
Yeah,
really
sure.
well made. Everything about it.
It sounds like it's what I would describe as a proper film. It's
absolutely.
It's a film for people that like films.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a good story and good acting and
Yeah, there's not like a significant thing that happens. It's not like a life-changing movie. Yeah. It's just like this is this one person's life at this point in time. And you have to.
Yeah, it's a movie about
really
the
good.
character.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah,
and that's all you need to know.
But that's good.
Watch it if you have time.
And got nominated for Best Picture, but didn't win.
I don't think anyone knew who won that year, really, though, do they?
Oh yeah,
well, I'm sure.
Was Moonlight, wasn't it?
I don't. Well,
was it La La
Land?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh God, Steve Harvey. It wasn't Steve Harvey, was it?
So
Again.
But no, definitely. If you get a chance to watch the movie and you genuinely want to sit down, you want to watch a movie.
Yeah, a proper movie.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's long. It feels long. Sure. But if you appreciate it for what it is, then you'll.
No, as I say, I like a good film. Like and that's as you say, like a proper film that isn't. Like there's so much out there. There's so much crap out there, and there's also so many films that we say are good films. But are Marvel films or films or whatever, like this is a different kettle of fish.
As you say, a film.
But this is a different level. This is Oscar-winning kind of, Oscar winning acting as well as directing and your script and everything. Like, this is the complete package. And if you like, as you say, if you like film, I mean, that's what I like about Denzel films recently, though. He'll only do 1 or 2 a year, and they are proper films because he's an actor, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to run around like in Deja Vu, running around. It's a very good movie, yeah. But he's, there's no car chases in Fences. I would imagine.
Oh, nothing.
There's no time travel kind of no, because it's a proper film, and that's it's nice to see actors actually acting in proper films.
Yeah, Martin, the end scene after everything has happened and the pinnacle part of the movie when they're all stood outside.
Yeah,
and obviously they're quite religious and this and the other. I'm not religious in the slightest, at all. But it was just watching their performance for that part of the movie and how they all you could just see all the micro expressions on their face and everything. It's just that part of the movie was incredible.
Just the pinnacle of everything.
And was it not just Denzel that's good? That every
single person. Viola Davis is incredible.
Yeah.
His brother is so good. I'm pretty sure he's played a character like that in the past as well. I recognise him for something like that. But he's really good, and you just you feel the pain in for Denzel having to look after his brother for this,
and he has to turn up.
And then you
the
find out
police
something else about what happened between Denzel and his brother, and you kind of don't like Denzel.
Yeah.
I
don't want to, because I've given you 2 spoilers, which are quite big spoilers, but I want you to watch the movie, and I don't want to tell you everything.
Okay.
But
I will watch it. I definitely will watch it for sure. It's been on my radar for a while, so I ran out of time this week, so
like I said, it's a movie you need to sit down and watch.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not something you can have on the second screen while you're doing something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Not at all.
Attention. Yeah. Sure. So well, that's good. So it sounded like that was a good recommendation from Marte. So Marto TGS. And you obviously thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's good. You gave me, David, you gave me Brick to watch, which is directed by Rian Johnson from 2005.
Looper fame.
Starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And it's kind of a homage to... it's
like a 50s noir detective
neo-noir
movie.
mystery set in a high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of it's you've got your femme fatale in there. You've got your cop. That's the only thing that was missing was from this film I felt was a kind of a moody voiceover from Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That would have probably
he does do a couple of voiceovers.
Yeah, well,
but not like a continual thing.
But it's it was a really interesting film. So did you watch it? No. Okay. So it was really interesting. I can't say necessarily that I enjoyed it. But I enjoyed the premise of it and what they tried to do. So basically, it's I think your kind of classic cop movie almost, cop mystery, but with a 50 noir kind of style to it.
Yeah.
But it's set in a high school. So, for example, there's a scene.
It is set in a high school, but I wouldn't describe it as a high school movie.
No.
They're not you don't watch them go to classes or anything like that.
No. But there's a scene where he's
the scene for it.
Yeah, but there's a scene where he's talking to it's not the VP, the vice principal. It's somebody else, but he's talking to him like he's his
commissioner. Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going under, but I need this from you. I need you to get off my back for for a couple of weeks, just while I go undercover and I do this thing. And he's like, well, that's fine. I'm going to give it to you, but if you mess up, it's on you.
Yeah.
And then there's another further on down the thing. There's a scene where he finds out that the VP's come into class to try and speak to him, and he's on the phone to him like, why are you looking for me in class? I told you to let me do my thing. And it's really weird because they're teenage kids in high school, but they're talking about the brick, which is a brick of heroin, and cutting it, and there's gangsters, and then there's going to be a gang war, and it was just really it was really stylized. Obviously, that's the thing. It was an indie film, and the way that they shot it and put it together was and the script was incredible. So the way that they talk to each other is very
It's like cryptic to an extent, isn't it?
Yeah, it takes you. It's almost a bit like Shakespeare when you're watching it. You have to. It takes you a while to kind of understand exactly what they're saying. But as soon as you're in there, like you're in it and you're with it, and you're kind of understanding what they mean and by certain things and the way they say it. It was yeah. As I say, it was really interesting. I can't say that I enjoyed it too much. They're good performances for sure. And I did really enjoy, like, as I say, like how they set the scene. So like there's a character in it called the Pin, who's like the kingpin. He's like, you know, the drug lord type thing. Who's another high school kid presumably, that, you know, does this huge drug empire out of his mother's basement. You know, and like when he's chatting to Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, like, you know, his mum's there, like, giving him some glass of orange juice and a cookie and putting milk on the table and stuff like that. And it's like, it's really, it's just odd in that respect, but kind of cool at the same time, because you kind of get that sense of kind of that it's a story in a world being told in a completely different world. And that's kind of, that messes with you a little bit, which is quite cool. I quite like that. The director, so I read a thing with the director saying that one of the reasons he chose to set it in high school was that the archetypal characters. Try not to hit the mic. Yeah,
sorry, calm down.
Right. Honestly,
getting very angry.
The archetypal characters are kind of like they fit really well with the high school. So you've kind of got the high school bully / jock, I suppose, who's kind of like the lead dealer, and Joseph
Gordon-Levitt.
There you go. Thank you. Goes and like beats him up and like, you know, has this really cool fight with him, and it's like that would be the cop fighting, like, you know, the guy on the street to get the kingpin's attention, which he does. And yeah, and there's this it's this kind of murder mystery that's surrounding it. So
sounds like an interesting sort of blend.
It's really good, and there's some nice twists as well, and there's a really big twist at the end as well, where you think that so basically the character, the lady that's the girl that's died that he's investigating, you find out halfway through.
Milda Raven from Lost.
Was she?
Yeah, is it Milda Raven? Emily?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No, sure. Yeah, okay. You find out that she was pregnant, and then you think that it was one guy's, and then one of the other kind of characters shoots the guy. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Who's that? Is that Juliet?
No.
There's one character that shoots another one because he was in love with her, but it was the guy that got her pregnant. And then at the very, very end, like the femme fatale, the kind of the big baddie of the piece, like that was pulling all the strings of everybody, kind of just whispers into Gordon-Levitt's ear and just like, you know, kind of like, you're the father type of thing. And it's just like, it was, as I say, it was really well written film. Like, and I enjoyed it for that, but I just didn't enjoy the film as a whole because it wasn't. What
stopped you from enjoying it sort of fully?
I think the setting and what it was. It would have, if it had been a proper cop mystery thriller that wasn't set in a high school, that wasn't, because it was just really jarring. Like, to kind of have, as I say, like having gangsters, it's a bit like watching in some scenes. It was a bit like watching Bugsy Malone.
Does it almost? Does it almost feel? Because I completely understand what you're saying. Does it almost feel like a school production of?
Yes, that's it. It's as I say, like there's a bit like where they're preparing for, you know, a potential war between the two gangs, and he walks through the house, and his mum is there pouring milk out for all these muscle guys.
Oh yeah,
who are high school students wearing white vests, and it's very Bugsy Malone.
Yeah, like there's like 3 different gangs, I think.
Yeah,
and they're all wearing the same thing, like different. Like one group of them all wears like white tank tops. The other ones wear something else, and
like
another
kind of sharp suits with
like uniforms.
And that's fine, and but that's what took me out of it the most.
Okay, so it like works to its detriment and its benefit.
But then I understand, because it was the first film he made. He made it on a budget of $450,000. So, you know, it's kind of like and that was effectively crowdfunded from his friends and family. So like it was his first film. He's been wanting to say it was a homage to like a writer that he was really into that wrote these types of films and books and stuff. So I understand what it was, but it wasn't. If I had a choice of that and watching, say, Fences or The Expanse or something, that would be my last choice, I think, because it's not really my.
It's not your cup of tea?
No. But I'm glad you told me to, because it's nice to watch something that's outside of your comfort zone every now and then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I really, really love that movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you like about it the most?
Well, the thing is, I'm a massive fan of Joe, and
that's the easiest way to say his name.
Yeah, I'm just going to say
Good going.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I'm a
Joe.
big fan of Rian Johnson as well because of this movie and because of Looper as well. I'm a big fan of Looper.
Looper's a terrible film.
No, it's not. It's a good movie.
It's not. I've rewatched it.
Also, the only other reason that I really like it is because the soundtrack is done in this town.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
And every single, because I really like. I like the juxtaposition between the fact that it's like a detective movie and it's set in high school.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Obviously, it wasn't really your sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is, if you didn't like it, or if you like that bit, or you don't like that bit, that's why you do and don't like.
I mean, you could still argue if that is pulled off well, it's not down to whether they did it right or not. It's whether your personal opinion.
I think that's probably what it falls down, because it wasn't done poorly.
No, not at all. No.
They knew what they were doing. They intentionally did these things. It's not like it was The Room, where it was just a badly made movie. They had no idea what they're doing. They did all these things that you pointed out that you weren't a massive fan of. They were done intentionally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why I like those bits, which is why I like the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you don't like those parts of it, then I completely understand why you wouldn't like the movie.
Yeah.
But I do really like the soundtrack as well, that each person has their own individual like jingle type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like 90% of the soundtrack wasn't made with actual instruments, and it was just like pots and pans in his kitchen and things like that. But he recorded it here, sent it to him. Like he basically got sent the dailies and stuff, and just kind of did the things and sent it over to him in LA, and they kind of put it all together from that.
The interesting bit of trivia that I discovered, which I think you may appreciate, is that the cinematographer took inspiration from Cowboy Bebop. So there you go.
He knows where to look.
Yeah. As I say, like
it's shaking his head.
I don't like the movie anymore.
No. It is a good film. I can't shit on it. I can't find fault with the film itself.
It's not your thing.
Exactly that.
No, I completely understand.
So so I would definitely say to people, go and see it for sure. Because it is a good film. It's just be aware of what you're going into, and it's an indie film that does something very, very different in a very good way. Mm-hmm. You just, as you say, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Unfortunately, it wasn't mine, but it was still a good recommendation. So yeah, there we go.
Fair enough.
So all that's left is for Martin. So Martin, you watched The Expanse.
Yes.
Or a few episodes of season 1 anyway.
The first season of The Expanse.
So this is a sci-fi Netflix production, started in 2015. Second series came out beginning of 2017 this year. Adapted from a series of books. And I think the first series covers the first book and a bit, I think it is. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it?
I really enjoyed it. It's just to give sort of the outline of the story, it's sort of 3 story threads in this sci-fi universe where humans have gone to Mars, and essentially it's been occupied, and they're trying to sort of terraform it almost, I guess. And then there's another planet. It's like a dwarf planet called Sirius, which is like a belt planet. It's kind of centered around the conflicts between Earth and Mars. Yeah,
there's three factions.
Yeah, so we got the UN lady. I can't remember her name.
No, I can't know.
She's like sort of, I want to say sort of looks of an Indian heritage. There's an ice ship. What they do, they farm ice from asteroids and then they make it into water. So
yeah, basically,
something goes on with them, and then there's another strand, which is the detective on Sirius, who's just sort of inspecting the radical OPA faction, who are the ones who are sort of seen to be inflating tensions between the 2 planets.
It's kind of a bit like Game of Thrones in space, because you've got these 3 factions: Mars, Earth, and the OPA, which are like the Belters, the people that that live and work in space. And then the conflict that arises
between those. And I really like, the thing is, watching the first episode, I think more than anything for me, I was kind of jarred by it because there's a lot of lore to it. There's a lot of things going on that they really need you to know about straight off the bat, and they don't hesitate just to chuck it out there. They're constantly saying Belters, Sirius, all this lexicon that they're just chucking at you, and you've just basically got to, it sticks at some point and you sort of start to piece it together in your mind. But it is a lot to sort of digest and understand what's happened in this universe. I really like the take they've done. I mean, it's sci-fi, but there's no aliens, which is, I think, is an interesting take. It might come up at some point, I don't know. But I thought it was really interesting, the idea of humans sort of occupying another planet.
Yeah, and the conflict comes from the humans, not aliens.
Yeah, well, they have Earthers and Martians. They're both humanoid, obviously. But I really like the distinct identity they have. You can see the way they've written it is, obviously it's a novel, so it's well written, but the Earthers are typically typecast as, rash people who, just destroyed their planet, act first and then think later. Whereas the Martians are people who are all sort of coming together with this common goal to make their planet habitable. I think one of the lines, isn't there, was sort of a dead rock that they want to bring to life again. And they've got separate navies and all this stuff and separate identities. You can really tell sort of the ships apart and all this stuff. But I really like it. I really enjoyed it. It takes sort of a bit of getting your head around. They do at different points bring in different sort of characters to illustrate different points as well, especially the stuff on one of the stations where what's his name, the Johnson guy, who's the butcher of something station.
Yes, yeah, I can't remember what station he's head of, but
he's I think it's Torfil or some shit like that. But they bring in like some stuff where he does that to that station, and they keep pulling and drawing off of different strands, and it's kind of hard to keep up with. But I personally of the opinion that I'd rather it be more complicated than simplistic.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a series where you have to watch the whole of it in order to get everything. And then even at the end of the first series, there's loads of questions still to be answered. And a lot of them are answered in the second series, but then it opens up. But because it's based on a book or a series of books, you know that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah. So it's not a series that can just go on and on and on and on and on.
It definitely feels like that, because I'm like, I was looking at sort of like the stills of it and seeing, oh well, here's the crew or the survivors of the Cant, and it's like, oh well, are these going to be the main guys that I'm following, and is it going to sort of just progress with them? But the way the story was going, sort of after I looked at that, I was like, well, this definitely doesn't seem like something that's going to continue, especially because the episode I watched is when they're on the Martian ship, and then a railgun comes through and it just takes the medic's head off. That's such a good, like, some of the anti-grav effects in that are really great. That one particularly, because this guy's been decapitated, his head has just been blown clean off. The blood is sort of floating above his head, and then they stabilize it, the gravity comes back, and blood just drops. Yeah, and I was like, that's really well done stuff.
And I like it as well, because it's not like Star Trek where it's like raise the shields. It's like they all strap in, they turn off their anti-grav because that's using power, and they're going to put the power towards the thrusters or whatever. Yeah. And then when they fire a gun, it will fire through the hole. You know, like, because it's not like, it's not bouncing off shields or anything.
It's not
like
so
that.
fantasy driven. It's a lot more based in real physics and real stuff like that. I mean, some of it they do kind of have a bit of a liberty with, but I think it's fine because the level of detail and the level sort of attention they pay to that stuff is really fucking good.
It's like when they go really fast in the ships, they have to take a drug.
They have to take a drug to fucking
to negate the G forces.
Effects. They don't just jump into hyperspace and away they go.
Because you would go splat. Yeah, and you can't go too fast, because if you go too fast, you literally die. Yeah, because of the G forces. Well, it's just nice little
stuff
touches
like that. And it's really like they're in the first episode where they see the station, they're like, oh yeah, there's a distress call coming from this ship, should we go there? And they're like, yeah, it'll take 2 days on the fuel we got, blah blah blah. And there's a lot of times when they're on the ship and it's like, well, we've got this much oxygen for this much time, and it's constantly like a nerve-wracking affair to hear that stuff of them being like, well, we've got about 2 hours left of oxygen. And especially you see it in one of the first bits where they run out of gas and then run out of oxygen, and they go into the suits and they've got to fix the antenna, and then the medic puts his oxygen into the pilots, and then you're just like, oh, going on here? This is stressful, but it's really well done. All that stuff.
It's proper science fiction, which is what I like. It's not, as I say, it's it's the best science fiction show to be made in the last 10 years. The last one would have been like Battlestar Galactica, which was incredible.
Yeah.
Which, funnily enough, as well, was one of my favourites because it was real, as in like like it felt there was no shields, there's no Star Trek,
there's no just like explain it away fantasy plot devices and stuff. And the characters in this as well, I think a lot of them are really good. Some of them are kind of annoying. I mean, particularly at the start, Amos, the like jarhead, meathead. I think he's just too obtuse as a character. He's too one-dimensional.
He's definitely not.
Really?
Yeah. So there's lots more to his character.
A lot more development. Yeah. I mean, I'm only 6-7 episodes in, but I just found myself being annoyed at him because he's just so obtuse. And like, sure, you're a jarhead marine dude.
No, there are reasons for why he acts the way he does. So
and why he's just so attached to
that we're
Naomi.
not quite sure yet. But if you watch both series, I think
I think I'm definitely going to continue watching it because I am like literally I stuck it on yesterday in my hungover state at about 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, go on then, and it just kept playing. And I was like, well, I could watch another one. I could watch another one. And I'm like, I could get some food and watch another one. And it just kept going. And I was having a really good time watching it.
Nice.
But a lot of those characters as well, particularly the survivors of the Cant, I think are the most sort of interesting ones. Miller, the detective, I think he's really interesting as well. He's someone who just, at the start, again, I thought just a bit like, just detective guy who's a little bit rough around the edges because he's a belter as well. And he's his own brand of justice. But like he sort of comes into his own, even though he's a weird obsession with the Mao girl.
The girl, that story arc's really good. And that it comes to a head halfway through season 2. So
Oh, I really liked the bit. It's spoilers all over, but whatever. The bit where
for 2 years, so
when he comes into the chief police head lady's office, and he's like, I got this chip, this is what happened on the station. She's like, okay, takes the chip, puts it in a vault. She's like, get out of my office, you're fired. And he's like, you've been bought out too. And it's like, what the fuck. That bit was really, really good. And I'm at the part now where he's going somewhere else, so I'm looking forward to where his investigation takes him.
And what did you think to the Mars vessel when they get captured by the Mars vessel, and then they're being interrogated by
a bloke with a little pill.
Yeah, so it's really cool. So he takes the Martian security officer takes this little pill, and his eyes like dilute, and he's like watching every movement of their hands and their twitches of their face, and he's asking them questions to tell whether they're lying or not. And it's just a really nice kind of like he's taking drugs to enhance all his senses.
It's like an interrogation drug.
Like there's some really cool.
So cool some of the stuff about that, like I think the way they go with the science fiction is so realistic. It's like from where we're at now, what could possibly be feasible in the future. It's like I like the fact that the UN is still a presence. The UN is the UN because that's what would happen in a form of sort of advanced version of our reality.
It's really good because there's a fourth threat out there which starts to build through the 2 seasons. This is the thing, you just don't know. And then you get, but then the tensions between the 3 main factions come to a head, and like in the second series you get like talks between Mars and UN. And like the Martians come down to Earth, but they're not used to Earth gravity, so they have to stay in a special facility and all sorts of things like that. Mm-hmm. Like in the opening episode, there's a belter who's being tortured.
Gravity torture, isn't it?
Gravity torture because he's spent his entire life in space and he can't handle the gravity on Earth. So it's like he's begging to go back into the tank so he can, be weightless, but then the lady that's interrogating her saying, well, you go back in the tank and you tell me what you're going to do, and then she's ruthless as well. That character, ruthless. But anyway, so I'm glad. So would you recommend it to somebody?
I'd definitely recommend it. I think I like it because I'm geeky.
It's
science fiction,
proper sci-fi, isn't it? So
it's proper sci-fi. It's really good in that. There's a lot of parts again to that you look at and you go, that's really well done. That's really well done. I think at some points it's a bit rough around the edges, but that's 6 episodes of the first series.
Yeah, that's it. The second series, the budget's a lot more. So
I can imagine. That's what I'm thinking. That Netflix money always goes a long way.
Exactly. The old Netflix money. You know about that, don't you?
Yeah, I got loads of it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And so
just coupons that says Netflix money.
Yeah.
Well, they're not coupons. They're gold bullion.
Yeah. That you carry around in your gold suit.
Exactly.
Yeah. You must have really good upper body strength.
Oh, I've got like a gold exoskeleton as well.
Oh wow! Yeah. What like Wolverine?
No, like that movie with Matt Damon when he goes.
The one in the sky with the
something. Yeah.
Elysium. There we go. We got there in the end. Wow. Anyway, okay. Well, there you go. That was the mystery box. So that was Brick, Fences, and the Expanse.
Can I just interject very quickly? Go on then. No. You know the reason we recognised his brother, Denzel's brother, and the fact that I thought that I'd seen him play a character similar to that before.
Yeah,
you seen Forrest Gump?
Oh,
has he played Bubba?
Bubba.
Bubba.
That's why I grabbed my phone out a second ago because I wanted to double check it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Can you imagine Denzel talking to the casting director like, "Get me Bubba.
Get me Bubba.
This role, I need Bubba."
So, so there you go. That was the mystery box. Definitely 3 recommendations for sure. Go and see all 3. Well, those 2 films, and definitely watch the Expanse TV series. So next week it's the release of Kingsman: The Golden Circle. So we will be talking about that. So I think it comes out Thursday, Friday. So we're gonna be heading to the cinema next weekend to see that, and we will be talking about that on Sunday. So we'll do our traditional. We haven't done a new film release since Spider-Man. I don't think, have we?
Oh yeah, it was like episode 2.
Yeah. So that'll be good. So we'll do a spoiler-free discussion, and then we'll also do a spoiler discussion as well. So still tune in and listen, even though we'll be talking about a film that you may have not seen. So yeah. We'll just end as we always do with talking about what we've been reading, watching, playing, or otherwise engaged in. The only one that's actually written down here is for you, Mr. David, Mr. Goldsuit. You watched? Is it a film? Yeah, a film called Bleed for This.
Yes. Yeah. It has. Hold on, my phone's just. Had it up a second ago, and I wanted to make sure I had it. It's got Miles Teller. In it, he basically plays a boxer. It's based on a true story.
Okay.
Vinny
Pazienza. That looks like an Italian New York name.
So basically, he plays a boxer that was kind of rising up, and he got really good, and he's been like the world champion. And then he went on. He always struggled staying in weight. This is part of the movie at the beginning. He always struggled staying at the right weight. This, that, and the other. Then he lost a fight. Wanted to get back into fighting. I think he had a fight and won. Then when he was like driving around with his friend, he got in a car accident, broke his neck, and was told that he's lucky if he ever walks again. But him being as stubborn as he is, and you can see that he's stubborn in the movie, he slowly starts training again, boxing, using the weights down in his mum's basement, this, that, and the other. And it's just it's basically the story of how it takes a while to get to the point where he actually has a car accident. But then it's the story from that, and how he managed to fight again. And then, you find out later in the movie.
Yeah, you made one of sport's most incredible comebacks. Yeah. So presumably it's a good news story.
It's a really well made movie. Miles Teller again. I really like Miles Teller.
Yeah, sure.
Despite Fantastic Four, which you can't really blame Miles Teller for that.
No,
no. But yeah, it's a really good movie. It's on. What did I watch it on? It's on Amazon or Netflix or Now TV. One of those. Okay, one of those. Well, it was on there, and it was definitely worth the watch. I mean, it's not a normal boxing movie because there's not a lot of bouts in it. No, I think there's 2 at the beginning and 1 at the end.
It's no Rocky.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Rocky's only got like 3 fights in it.
But they're big long fights, though.
Yeah. The fighting isn't the part of the movie.
No. You're watching
his struggle, and it's got Aaron Eckhart in it as well. He plays his trainer.
Okay.
He's got a lot of troubles as well. But it's really well made movie. I have to watch it. It's not a massive movie. It's not. I don't think it was released. Had a massive release for it. But yeah, it's really well done. Nice. Definitely recommend.
Sounds
watching
good.
It.
What about you, Marte? What have you been up to?
I've just been playing more Persona 5.
Persona 5.
Persona 5. Remember that game I tried to describe about castles and hearts and all that shit?
Is this on the Switch?
It's a PS4 slash PS3 JRPG.
Oh,
about
yes.
Well, it's like dungeon crawler slash kind of sim-ish. I've just been playing a bunch of that. I really want to get to the end of it because I picked it up and I put it down for a long time to play Zelda, but back on the horse, enjoying it quite a lot. It's
nice.
A lot of it is like dialogue heavy, so you need to pick the correct dialogue options to get bonuses from people in the real world, to bring that into the dungeon world so you can have better things in there. And it's a lot of fun just sort of preparing yourself and getting yourself to a really good, really strong place. And story's pretty good with it as well. Classic
JRPG story. It's all over the shop with many different characters, and
it's got a lot of different characters, but I think
convoluted and complex.
It's
too convoluted for.
It's a lot different to the typical kind of JRPG. I mean, it's set in a high school, but it's these kids who are thieves stealing hearts. So
set in a high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what JRPG?
I think I'm getting flashbacks of you trying to explain this before.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, no, I'm aware, but I try to block out things that you talk about sometimes.
That's why I fucking hate you, David.
There's so much love here on the Geekstation podcast. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm getting more and more excited. There's a new Star Trek series, Star Trek Discovery, which is being released a week tomorrow. I'm in kind of full Star Trek mode because I am a massive Trekkie. So I've been watching
I'm a big fan of Star Wars too.
I've been watching all the old. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to be watching all the old, or a lot of the old films, some of the series, because it's all available on Netflix. I've been loving every second of it.
I think all of the movies are on Now TV at the moment as well.
Yeah, there's a lot on Netflix. I've been watching those, and I've also been watching BoJack Horseman season 3, So BoJack Horseman is a cartoon. In the first series, it was a bit of a crazy cartoon. You kind of got it's set in a world where animals are humans and humans. It just doesn't really make much sense. But it's a good kind of 20-minute sitcom. And then season 2, they started kind of delving into quite serious subjects. So there's an entire episode about depression, which is set underwater and there's no dialogue. It's still quite funny, but they try and say a little bit more, but it was still really good. It was still really hit everything on the head. Season 3, I tell you, they've just scrapped everything that was good for it, and they've just gone, let's tell a story about people in the war dying and how that affected. There's an entire episode where BoJack Horseman's great grandmother, her brother goes off to fight in the World War or a World War. And comes home, or doesn't come home, dies over there. She goes crazy and has a lobotomy. And it's like...
It sounds a bit too serious for what that show is.
Exactly. This is a story...
It sounds like it doesn't know what it's doing.
They've just gone, whoa, and just gone way left field, right field, whatever. It just is crazy. And we've watched the first 3 episodes, and I don't really want to watch any more because it's just... They've got this kind of subplot about one of the characters becoming... running for governor. And so it's all kind of like election Trump, are you stupid type thing,
sake.
which is okay. But then, as I say, then they throw in an episode where someone has a lobotomy, and you're just like, I can't be dealing with this. This is a cartoon. This is supposed to entertain me. This isn't entertaining.
Yeah, it seems a bit unnecessary.
Even just as a 20-minute sitcom, it's not really the time to delve into that.
It's just it reminded me of, there was a webcomic that I used to read. Which was really funny, and I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but it was basically just about like gamers and stuff.
Control-Alt-Delete.
Control-Alt-Delete. Do you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
And then they had an entire miscarriage storyline.
Loss.
And it was just like, okay, I mean...
For a 4-panel webcomic.
Yeah.
Like, great. Well, I don't think it was always 4-panel, but the infamous one was.
Yeah, is it still going? Control-Alt-Delete?
I think so.
Yeah, I haven't touched it in
a long time.
In about 10 years for me. So if it is still going, I've got a lot to catch up on. But it was yeah, and that's what it reminded me of. I was just like, this is good, but now you're just dealing with subject matters that really
it's out of your range. Like, stick to what you do well, kind of thing.
Yeah, and also like, I don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it when shows deal with stuff like that. You know, like like Friends and How I Met Your Mother and stuff. Like How I Met Your Mother, I think did it slightly better than Friends, but they deal with with real issues, and that's fine. I like it when they do that, but this you got to do it right, and sometimes they just completely miss the mark, and things like that shouldn't be dealt with. I don't think with a show about a horseman that used to be in a '90s sitcom. You know, that's
I don't know. I mean, they've been going for weird 3 series. Like, I feel like they need to potentially. I've not watched that much of it, but I feel like for them to go into issues like that, they maybe want to be confident at doing the funny stuff first.
I think they were, but I think I don't know. As I say, that I think they've just decided to concentrate more on those types of episodes rather than the comedy, and it just misses the mark, which is really disappointing because I really enjoyed the show. But you know, hey ho, it is what it is. So that's I think kind of where we come to an end of the show. We meander off into the distance, unless you guys have anything.
There was one other thing that I'm
go on.
Obviously I listened. I told you about it before, didn't I? The Case File podcast.
Oh yes,
the Australian guy that does a lot of.
I've listened to a couple of them. Yeah.
He's just released the first 2 of a 3-part series for the Jonestown Massacre.
Oh right, okay.
So I'm just going to start listening to that.
I might have to start listening to that.
What is this?
Yeah.
Basically, it's a Case File podcast where he does like a deep dive into a specific crime or a murder or a kidnapping or things like that. And sometimes he does ones that last like 2 or 3 episodes, or he did one that lasted 5 episodes, which was
he's like a true crime, you know, like he
delves
true crime
into,
podcast, you know, it's really good.
That sounds
it's really good.
Yeah, he's got like actual composers that do like music over the top of it and stuff.
Oh, is that kind of aiming at more making it dramatic or more fictional?
It's all actual crimes.
Well, as in like the way it's presented, it's.
No,
is he just telling you the facts, or is he dressing up a bit?
No, he goes through the facts, but he makes it dramatic. He's not just reading a bit of both.
It's not just case file. So it doesn't just sound like some guy's just reading something to you.
He puts time in it. He's got clearly a script that he writes and then reads and tells you the story. It's really. There was a recommendation from David, and I've listened to it. It's very good. So I'm subscribed to it. So yeah,
I'm looking forward to listening to these.
Yeah, no, that would be good for sure. Do you guys like Futurama?
The Nerdist podcast did something about Futurama.
I started listening to it yesterday. So it was Chris Hardwick has made or helped make a new double episode of Futurama in podcast form. It's mainly a big ad for the new mobile app game.
Oh, okay.
Really?
But not in a bad way. But that's why they've done it. That's why they've bought the code. But it's actually it's actually quite good. It works very well in podcast form, because the characters are all so unique.
Yeah, you know who they are as well. And you basically picture it in your head.
I've only listened to like the first 15-20 minutes or so, but it's so far I'm enjoying it.
Promising.
Yeah, no, definitely. But there we go. So next week, as I say, we're talking about the Kingsman Golden Circle. I'm sure it's Kingsman Golden Circle, which will be really good.
It's a golden lasso.
Golden lasso, possibly, yeah. Well, there is a lasso in it, so.
As the statesman.
And in the meantime, between now and then, don't forget to check out us all on the YouTubes, the Geekstation UK. If you're obviously listening to this on YouTube, just click on the right-hand side. I'm sure there's a recommended video from us to watch. Currently, I'm playing a bit of Stonehearth, which is progressing nicely, even though for the life of me, I can't get David and Martin's name right in it. But, you have to watch to find out what's going on with that. David's playing some Hotline Miami.
I sure am. I'm trying to play it and just dying a lot.
Yeah, which is it's quite fun. Yeah, it is a lot. I can't even sugarcoat it. You die a lot.
A lot. Yeah. There's just one part, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't even need to like edit it together, because I just move up one hallway just like 20-30 times in a row and just die.
Nice.
Instantly. It's funny. And Martin's just recently started playing Darkest Dungeon.
Yes.
Where he takes the 3 of us and Peggy,
Maggie, and some other fellas. We all go into the darkest dungeons and fight some ghouls and try and get some rewards. It looks like a really good game as well. It's a very fun game. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
The combat is actually really. It's turn-based, but it's very different. Position comes into play and stuff like this. But as a person who enjoys turn-based combat,
I love the art style. It's really good.
Yeah, some of that stuff is really great, and and we are all delving into dungeons. I think currently we're in the pub, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm in the pub anyway.
Spoilers. Only one episode's come out.
Yeah, this is what's happened.
Yeah. So don't forget to check those videos out. If you are listening to this on iTunes, it would be amazing if you could leave a review. Give us some stars and write some words. And if you do, we will read it out on the podcast and forever immortalise your review in audio format.
Oh, I can't wait. Give us a bad review, please. Please. I love it.
And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That would be awesome. You can find us. I am on Twitter at Mr. Sin Cine, and you can also find our Facebook, the Geekstation, facebook.com/the Geekstation. Where can they find you guys?
You can find me at Marto TGS. Marto TGS. Martin TGS. Again, mate. Just come on.
If you're out there,
I will meet
Martin
you
wants to
at
talk to you.
At noon.
At noon.
I'm ready to draw on you.
Draw on you.
With a Sharpie.
With a pistol. It doesn't matter.
And David, where can they find you?
You can find me at DavidTGS on Twitter. And that's the only place.
And that's it, because you're not prepared to give out your full mailing postal address.
I'll give out your telephone number if you want.
You don't even know my telephone number.
Oh, shit, I don't.
You don't even know my middle name.
Joseph.
Nope. Joseph.
Gordon.
No.
Levitt.
No. Fuck.
Anyway, so that was our podcast. Thank you very, very much for tuning in.
Thanks very much, guys.
The only thing I suppose left to say is it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from Sin.
It's goodbye from Sin.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Doodle
Cheers.
Cheerio.
Bye.
That was good.
Just coughed darkly into the mic.
Jesus.
See, I did the turn away because I just realised.
You coughed into the mic and then turned away.
Well, this is the delay, dude.
There's no delay.
Fuck.